sides in history.
We're witnessing a persecution of Christians on a scale that makes what Pol Pot and Hitler and Stalin and Mao did in their day combined pale by comparison.
The human rights watchdog Open Doors USA ranked Nigeria as the 12th most hostile to Christians in their 2018 report. There was, quote, a seemingly constant violence, unquote, against Christians that so far this year has already cost hundreds of lives. Neil W. McCabe, One America News, Washington.
Want to see more?
This killing is ongoing and it's continuing. Unfortunately, the world press is not keen in or paying attention to what's going on in Nigeria. There's a targeted genocide in Nigeria that is being supervised by the current government of Muhammadu Buhari. And there is a sheikh in the north, Ahmed Gumi. He was trained in Saudi Arabia. And he is fraternizing with terrorists who are killing people and kidnapping students. In fact, he gives them money. And he's now planning to open up a school, or if maybe he's probably opened the school up already to accommodate the same terrorists. So terrorism is an official business in Nigeria. While Boko Haram is doing what they are doing, ISWAP, ISIS is coming in. Nigeria's own government-owned and operated terrorist group, Fulani, Miyetti Allah. Fulani herdsmen terrorists, owned and operated by Miyetti Allah and the government. They are going across the country to kill and destroy the people and make the country an ungovernable place. And the government is behind them, defending them, protecting them, not laying hand on them, not arresting them. In fact, they go after those people that tries to stop the Fulani terrorists like Sunday Boho. This is the way Nigeria is structured now, and that's why multi-regional binding referendum is unavoidable. That's the most peaceful way to get Nigeria sorted out of all this nonsense.
Time when incited mobs threw stones into the windows of innocent shop owners and women and children were cruelly humiliated in the open, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a young pastor, began to speak publicly against the atrocities that the regime had produced.
Christians of Lower Niger Territory, Middle Belt, and Oduduwa nations needs to pay attention, especially the pastors, the teachers, the evangelists, the prophets, the seers, the interpreters of the scriptures, the prayer warriors, the dreamers, the visioners. They need to pay attention to the story of Bonhoeffer and how he stood up with his people in their period of persecution. He did not preach then that all government was ordained by God and of God, and so people must be submissive to them. God bless you as you listen to all these things and act on them, because a lot is riding on all this. A lot is riding on them. It's not for nothing.
Muslim extremists are accused
it's not for nothing.
Waging a campaign of ethnic cleansing.
After years of trying to change people's minds, Dietrich Bonhoeffer came home one evening and his own father had to tell him that two men were waiting in his room to take him away. In prison, Bonhoeffer began to reflect on how his country of poets and thinkers had turned into a collective of cowards, crooks, and criminals. Eventually, he concluded that the root of the problem was not malice, but stupidity. In his famous Letters from Prison, Bonhoeffer argued that stupidity is a more dangerous enemy of the good than malice, because while one may protest against evil, it can be exposed and prevented by the use of force. Against stupidity, we are defenseless. Neither protests nor the use of force accomplish anything here. Reasons fall on deaf ears.
If you allow
Facts
yourself
that
to be
contradict
brainwashed,
a
you become
stupid person's
stupid.
prejudgment simply need not be believed, and when they are irrefutable, they are just pushed aside as inconsequential, as incidental. In all this, the stupid person is self-satisfied and, being easily irritated, becomes dangerous by going on the attack.
That's the
For
act
that
of
reason,
the brainwash.
greater caution is called for when dealing with a stupid person than with a malicious one. If we want to know how to get the better of stupidity, we must seek to understand its nature. This much is certain. Stupidity is, in essence, not an intellectual defect, but a moral one. There are human beings who are remarkably agile intellectually, yet stupid, and others who are intellectually dull, yet anything but stupid. The impression one gains is not so much that stupidity is a congenital defect, but that, under certain circumstances, people are made stupid, or rather, they allow this to happen to them. People who live in solitude manifest this defect less frequently than individuals in groups, and so it would seem that stupidity is perhaps less a psychological than a sociological problem. It becomes apparent that every strong upsurge of power, be it of a political or religious nature, infects a large part of humankind with stupidity, almost as if this is a sociological psychological law, where the power of the one needs the stupidity of the other. The process at work here is not that particular human capacities, such as intellect, suddenly fail. Instead, it seems that under the overwhelming impact of a rising power, humans are deprived of their inner independence and, more or less consciously, give up an autonomous position. The fact that the stupid person is often stubborn must not blind us from the fact that he is not independent. In conversation with him, one virtually feels that one is dealing not at all with him as a person, but with slogans, catchwords, and the like that have taken possession of him. He is under a spell, blinded, misused, and is abused in his very being. Having thus become a mindless tool, the stupid person will also be capable of any evil, incapable of seeing that it is evil. Only an act of liberation, not instruction, can overcome stupidity. Here, we must come to terms with the fact that in most cases, a genuine internal liberation becomes possible only when external liberation has preceded it. Until then, we must abandon all attempts to convince the stupid person. Bonhoeffer died due to his involvement in a plot against Adolf Hitler at dawn on the 9th of April 1945 at Flossenburg concentration camp, just 2 weeks before soldiers from the United States liberated the camp. Action springs not from thought, but from a readiness for responsibility. The ultimate test of a moral society is the kind of world that it leaves to its children, Bonhoeffer once said. Check the description below to read Bonhoeffer's original text, After 10 Years. For more information about Bonhoeffer or to download this video without background music, go to SproutSchools.com.
The Bible in Romans chapter 6 verse 16 says, "Don't you know that when you offer yourself to someone as obedient slaves, you are slaves of that one you obey? Whether you are slaves to sin, which leads to death, or to obedience, which leads to righteousness. That's up to you." So we are fully responsible for how we submit ourselves to others, to obey them and to follow them, even when it's clear that you are being lied to. You still follow that direction. You are getting lost deliberately. You are responsible. You're on your own, essentially.
Most of us in this National Assembly today, this is there to tell this nation today that this is the problem. This constitution can never give us progress. This constitution can never give us peace. This constitution can never give us unity. And unfortunately, most of us in this National Assembly, we don't have the spine to face what we need to give this republic to have peace and progress. What do I mean? This constitution has 68 items. 68 on the exclusive list. This constitution has only 12 on the concurrent list. And those 12 are written so nebulously, so fraudulently, that you know that the intention is to even undermine those concurrent lists. The formal name of this republic is Federal Republic of Nigeria. Unfortunately, we don't run a federalist system in Nigeria. Otherwise, what is so unique about all those things that are in the exclusive list in this chamber? We try to federalize the police system. In this chamber, we failed. Every crime is local. And the solution to every crime is local. The earlier that senators in Nigeria, someone the correct to say, we should not continue to deceive ourselves. Dare to tell.
Ninas, where we came from, where we are, on the road to freedom. Today, we speak of Ninas, but know that the struggle for the restoration of our sovereignty did not start today. As a matter of fact, the struggle started almost as soon as the sovereignty of the ethnic nationalities was stolen by the imposition of the 1999 Constitution, which maintained a unitary government. With the end of the military regime and return to democracy, there was great hope that the country will be returned to what the people had voted for, and that existed prior to the military intervention in 1966. The hope of the country was dashed when, instead of a return to a federal governance structure with multiple self-governing and autonomous government with their own constitutions, the government was kept centralized in a federal government that kept all the power, the assets, and resources of the ethnic nationalities. Making things worse, this so-called constitution was not put to a referendum, and so was not made by the people. Deprive the citizens of their right to benefit contained in Chapter 2, made federal character unenforceable, gave the lion's share of the oil and other assets to the far north through a federal account sharing process that was exclusively weighted to favor the far north and make corruption official. Let me take you back over 2 decades of our journey. It all started when the military regime of General Abdul Salami Abubakar imposed a unitary 1999 constitution, which in turn was a wholesale rival of the 1979 constitution that was also known to be a victory charter for the Nigeria-Biafra War of 1967 to 1970. When it was made public a few weeks after inauguration of General Obasanjo as president, a better half of those in the legal profession gathered at several conferences and, without much ado, recognized the flaws, loopholes, and selfish intentions, then concluded that the Constitution was not legitimate and would not lead Nigeria to any form of advancement. It was important that the mechanism or vehicle to set up a countrywide rejection of this forgery of a constitution was put in place. The journey commenced when, in 2004, the Pro-National Conference Organization, PRONACO, was established to rework the damaged federal constitutional basis of Nigeria. PRONACO being the People's Sovereign National Conference of Ethnic Nationalities in Nigeria, convened in all ethnic nationalities, and quickly mandated its representation to go back to their people and to come up with ratified draft of how they would want to participate in the Union of Nigeria. The conference sat in plenaries across the cities of Lagos, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Jos, and Kano, then returned to Lagos for the final sitting, and in participation, conveners in the likes of Anthony Ehanoro, Wole Soyinka, Chukwu Emeka Odumego Ojukwu, and similar leaders across the territories. This resolution was an agreement derived from the Composite People's Constitution as presented and defended by ethnic nationalities representation in those sequential conference. And it is important to know that there were observers from the international community, including the US and European Union observers. In August 2006, a delegate from Castina moved the motion for adoption of the draft People's Constitution that emerged from the 29-point resolution of the conference. In furtherance of the Protocol Consensus to restore the federal basis of the Nigerian Union, in 2007, the Movement for a New Nigeria was set up as an enforcement of the consensus at the time to exclude the 12 contiguous northern states that had introduced and embraced the Sharia legal system against the secular basis for Nigeria. The Allies had insisted that democracy and Sharia system could not coexist in the same political space, hence the need for a new vehicle, the Movement for New Nigeria. On the 23rd of May 2007, MMN, through its legal counsel, filed a suit at the Federal High Court Abuja to challenge the legitimacy of the imposed 1999 Constitution, seeking the termination of the entire Constitution. At the court hearings, which had the Attorney General of the Federation representing the federal government, legal representation of the National Assembly, and others admitted the people case, which they could not defend the challenge, but insisted that the plaintiff had no locus standi. In English, the plaintiff had no status at law to bring in the case to challenge the legitimacy of the 1999 Constitution. Having acknowledged that the restoration of the people's sovereignty did not need the participation or permission of government, the Joint Multi-Regional Vehicle instituted the MMN Lagos Declaration 30th of June 2011, by which the Allies partner blocks, the Lower Niger, South-South, and Southeast, the Yoruba land, and the Middle Belt publicly rejected the Caliphate-imposed 1999 Constitution, mandating regional self-determination actions which included referendum and international outrage. In furtherance to the mandate of the MMN Lagos Declaration, the people of the Lower Niger on the 27th of April 2015 held the Solemn Assembly in Port Harcourt City to wholly repudiate the 1999 Constitution. In that assembly, the 1,885 ethno-linguistic map of the Lower Niger was adopted as a geographical basis of federating. The assembly mandated the distillation of character of relationship as well as asset protection and guarantee scheme to protect the asset of the indigenous people in other blocks of Nigeria. On the mandate for international outrage of the MNN Lagos Declaration, and LNCT visited Capitol Hills, Washington, to make a case for the termination of the operation of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution at the special congressional event on Nigeria in May 2015. The team also made informal consultation for the same matter at the UN headquarters in New York in the same year. 2 years later, still in furtherance to mandate of the MNN Lagos Declaration, the Yoruba indigenous people held the Yoruba Solemn Assembly at Ibadan on the 7th of September 2017. The Assembly publicly repudiated the 1999 Constitution as the basis of the Federation of Nigeria and proclaimed the self-determination right of the Yoruba land to reclaim autonomy of Yoruba land.
Nigeria jaga jaga, everything's scatter. Come on, they suffer. Bossa, go shot in the air.
I beg, which kind abomination be this one? Where common manager for company go carry the owner, tie him with rope, throw him inside prison, and take over him business. Where you don't see this kind of abomination before? Hey, only for Niger. True. It don't dey sure back and say Nigeria know they ruling people well. The country know they benefit anybody. Now him make Nigeria they crawl for belly like snail. They follow other small country them for back. Now him make them they call us the capital of poverty in the world. Chai! Shame on Nigeria. I beg. Enough is enough. Because of this reason, the indigenous ethnic nationalities of Middle Belt and the South, under the umbrella of the Nigeria Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, they don't join together on 16 December 2020 to declare a constitutional force majeure, CFM, over a sovereignty quarrel, where then they ask only two questions. One, which time we take submit ourselves, our land, our assets, even our natural treasure into the force by force Nigeria Union. Hey, which time self we follow make for ourselves the year 1999 Nigeria Constitution. All na lie, all na story, na daylight robbery be this yo. But we get work to do for inside all this matter. Oh yeah, this one na must to make we join hand sharp now with the Nigeria Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS. Now then won't tear down that fraudulent lie 1999 Constitution, so that we can forward march and start a new beginning for everybody. I beg, make we join together to sign that petition where we title End Apartheid Nigeria by restoring the self-determination rights of ethnic nationalities. It is for all media platform of Daughters of Truth, BVI Channel 1, Heritage TV UK, and www.freedomfromnigeria.com. If you sign this petition, MB say you don't follow more than 20 million signature them where we collect for take show the United Nations. Remember say, not only us fit free ourselves from the oppression, repression, marginalization, and subjugation which the Nigerian country don't carry jam him own people for head.
Come on, they suffer. Bossa, go shot in the air.
Now the Voice of Liberty International bring on this story.
Lower Niger Radio is your station for all things about self-determination, nation building, and liberty. With all the challenges and insecurity in our ancestral lands, the survival of our peoples and the political arrangements they decide on is our goal. We discuss solutions. We bring you messages of hope, truth, and trust. So, tune in today. Lower Niger Radio is the voice of liberty for the ethnic nations of the South, and Southeast. We are here for the peoples of Anang, Bini, Isan, Efik, Ibibio, Igbo, Ishekiri, Icho, Igede, Kalabari, Obolo, Ogoja, Ogoni, Okrika, Urubo, and all the others. Lower Niger Radio, your voice of liberty.
Onye nu ya kọli be yo Luba yu na biala Igbo kwen Kwes won
Listen to Pastor Paul Adefarosi speak on Plan B And remember that prior to this, he has spoken severally about the Nigerian constitution being a fraud, being a scam, being a sham. He is now talking about what will happen in the future if a binding referendum do not happen in Nigeria to sort out the constitutional crisis, the constitutional dispute. He started by speaking about Plan B. You having a Plan B, having an escape route, where to go. Enjoy listening and listening to what the comedian has to say about this. Mekoyo.
Now, I want everybody to calm down. Pipe low. Just watch this video first and hear what this Pastor Adefarasin, everything they talk.
I bring you greetings from Pastor Ifai, who's busy taking care of a frontier of our world and preparing our escape routes. If you don't have a plan B, I know you have faith, but I have faith too, but I have a plan B. And with technology, I can speak to you from anywhere in the world. Get yourself a plan B, whether that's an Okada to Cameroon, or a flying boat or speedboat as we call them, to Seme-Border, or, a hole in the ground, a bunker. Get a plan B, because these people are crazy. They're nutters, the whole bunch of them. And wait and watch the signs, because it can happen like this. God.
You don't do. He says people their head not correct. The black now I don't understand the thing. Their head not correct. These people will start fighting anytime. If you want to run. These people. When I talk and say we got opportunity to jackpot, make it jackpot, and they tell me say if everybody run, who is going to take care of the country? Who is going to fight for this country? I know somebody has to fight for this country, but the truth is this: there are those who are born to fight, and there are those who are born to clap. You understand? But wisdom, they say, is profitable to direct. Yeah. You know this statement? They say no place like home. It is sweet for mouth if you dey abroad. Some of the people that are saying, let's stay together and fight for this country, let's stay together and fight for the unity of Nigeria, most of them, they're abroad. They're abroad. If you have opportunity to jackpot, run. Now listen to you, Lo. You, they talk, say, if we are not going to jackpot, I'm the man sent by God. You are the man sent by God. Fight for the nation. A lot of people want run. Me personally, not be say I want run, no. You understand? I'll just discharge more. Not be say I go run. I go just that they pray for now. You understand? Because this country, people when they talk there was a country, we not understand what it means. It simply means this country don't end since. You understand? Now the remnant will be living. If you have an opportunity to run. No. In Genesis 12:1, if I'm not mistaken, God tells somebody, say, come out for this place. Go where I want to show you. If now Canada, God won't show you, run, go. This country not be... The few people are going to say we have to stay and fight for this country, then they chop belly food. This country, when people they chop belly food, now you know, say, we are going to, if you have opportunity to run, no, not listen to anybody. You understand? Travel, go abroad. No, I know I go see small thing where you. Like Mohammed will not come out and say, if anything happens to Nigeria, our professors will be selling toothpick in Togo. My question is, even the Nigeria where they are they not worse than people who are selling toothpick in Togo? Yes, now, a nurse who travels from Nigeria and go abroad, we go there, gather enough money, build house, buy car, and take care of family. But a doctor, qualified doctor, surgeon in Nigeria, not fee parent. If you have opportunity to run, no. Because where this country they go now, so.
The 1999 constitution is still in existence. The northern part of Nigeria will always dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must dance to the tune of the northern Nigerian elite or expectation. Let me repeat that again. I said, as long as the 1999 constitution is still in existence in Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria will dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must do according to what they want. That is a basic reality.
Essentially, the rest of Nigerians are slaves to the Fulani in Nigeria. The rest of Nigerians are effectively their slaves. It's up to us to wake up and realize what is happening and do the needful.
Opening prayer. O God, our Heavenly Father, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, O God, who delivered his people Israel from the oppressive stronghold of Egypt, you are great and you are our God. O God, we ask for forgiveness for all the sins we have committed against you and your heavenly hosts. If you do not forgive our wrongdoings, Father, who will? We, your peoples, place before you our weaknesses, our helplessness, our concerns, and our endeavors. Most merciful God, you are the Lord of the oppressed, and we entrust everything we do into your able hands. Heavenly Father, look with pity upon us, your children. We are weighed down by social injustice, political instability, poverty, hunger, unemployment, insecurity, oppression, brutality, and enslavement by seen and unseen, known and unknown forces that seem to overcome us. Father, we place ourselves, our liberation movement, our search for lasting solutions to these numerous problems created for us by known and unknown forces into your mighty hands. We also look upon you for provision of both human and financial resources to carry out this enormous task of our liberation project. Bring your lasting solutions to them so that we may live the life you have created in us as peoples created in your own image and likeness. We also commit our leaders in your hands. Direct all of them and direct all of us as we continue to move forward towards our self-determination. Channel us with your everlasting love to our final destination, which is total freedom from captivity and enslavement that we all seek. We pray in the mighty name of Jesus Christ our Lord.
For delivering uncolored report on the EndSARS shooting at Lekki on October 20, 2020, members of the panel are now getting essentially targeted by agents of Nigerian government. They are being unfairly persecuted already just for coming out with their report that heavily indicted the government of liars. Since the submission of the EndSARS panel report to the governor of Lagos State on November 15, 2021, members of the panel have become subject of vicious attacks by those suspected to be agents of the government. All manner of allegations have been heaped upon panel members, some of whom have been called unprintable names. I can confirm that no member of the panel lobbied to be appointed into the panel. As a matter of fact, in my own case, His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, appealed to me to accept my appointment, which I saw as a call to national service. The primary reason the governor gave to me then was that he wanted men and women of integrity, independent and not subject to manipulation, to be on the panel. Just today, my attention has been drawn to an interview by a senior counsel to the Lagos State government to the effect that panel members collected bribe in the course of the assignment. It is unfair, ungodly, and least expected of the government and its lawyers. The Lagos State government asked for 2 weeks to enable it to release a white paper on the report submitted to it by the panel, and we have been waiting, but it would seem that the Lagos State government has now unleashed mindless propaganda upon panel members, whilst at the same time asking for restraint from the general public. I have in my custody certified true copies of all proceedings of the panel and all exhibits tendered before the panel in respect of the Lekki Tollgate investigation. I urge the government to call its agents and lawyers to order so as not to provoke aggravated responses. It is unfair to seek to denigrate people's hard-earned reputation on account only that they accepted to render selfless service at the behest of government. If the government and its agents are not restrained from attacking others, nothing stops us from defending our integrity. I should not become a victim of unwarranted attack just because I accepted to serve the government and the outcome of that assignment did not favor the expectations of the government. Suffice it to mention that I worked with men and women of unblemished integrity and am proud to be associated with them all. I therefore appeal to His Excellency the Governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, to call all agents of state to order and keep to his promise to us to release a white paper within 2 weeks and to send the unedited report of the panel to the National Economic Council. Signed by Ebun Olu Adegboruwa, SAN, Lagos, Lekki, Lagos, November 18, 2021. And so Nigeria now will resort to attacking the panel members like they didn't deliver the kind of manipulated report they were most likely hoping for. The report has turned out to be a huge embarrassment to the government, to the military, to the police, to the federal government and their agents, especially Lai Mohammed and the rest of them who has been in denial, lying and continuing in their lying ways. So, here is a panel member now coming public, exposing the hypocrisy that is the Nigerian system. That system that is condemned never to work well. Very sad. Sucks to be Nigeria.
Did you know that Peter Afunanya is DSS spokesperson, Onyema Nwachukwu is Army spokesperson, and Frank Umba is police spokesperson?
They are serving as spokespersons to Nigeria's DSS, Army, and police, while the same forces are serving as occupation force, killing and burying people in mass graves in the southeast. They are joining the Fulani in making sure that the population of the southeast is reduced. And that not just southeast, but in the south, southwest, and middle belt, they are continuing on genocide across Nigeria. These are the things that will see to Nigeria's end. And we want nothing other than a binding referendum that will take place across the Lower Niger Territory, Oduduwa land, and middle belt, to decide our future moving forward with Nigeria.
The 1999 Constitution is still in existence. The northern part of Nigeria will always dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must dance to the tune of the northern Nigerian elite or expectation. Let me repeat that again. I said, as long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence in Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria will dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must do according to what they want. That is a basic reality.
Essentially, the rest of Nigerians are slaves to the Fulani in Nigeria. The rest of Nigerians are effectively their slaves. It's up to us to wake up and realize what is happening and do the needful.
Lower Niger Radio is your station for all the amazing topics on history, culture, and self-determination. We discuss ways we can solve our collective problems created for us by seen and unseen, known and unknown elements. We take you from the starting point to your destination. We promote and uphold our cultural, social, and moral values. Tune in today and listen to amazing personalities and be entertained as well. Lower Niger Radio is your voice of liberation for the peoples of Anang, Bini, Eshan, Efik, Ibibio, Ibo, Ishekiri, Ijo, Igede, Kalabari, Ubolo, Ugoja, Ugoni, Okrika, Urobo, and others. We bring you messages of hope, truth, and trust. Lower Niger Radio, your voice of liberation from slavery.
The 1999 Constitution is still in existence. The northern part of Nigeria will always dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must dance to the tune of the northern Nigerian elite or expectation. Let me repeat that again. I said, as long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence in Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria will dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must do according to what they want. That is a basic reality.
Essentially, the rest of Nigerians are slaves to the Fulani in Nigeria. The rest of Nigerians are effectively their slaves. It's up to us to wake up and realize what is happening and do the needful.
Lower Niger Radio is your station for all the amazing topics on history, culture, and self-determination. We discuss ways we can solve our collective problems created for us by seen and unseen, known and unknown elements. We take you from the starting point to your destination. We promote and uphold our cultural, social, and moral values. Tune in today and listen to amazing personalities and be entertained as well. Lower Niger Radio is your voice of liberation for the peoples of Anang, Bini, Eshan, Efik, Ibibio, Ibo, Ishekiri, Ijo, Igede, Kalabari, Ubolo, Ugoja, Ugoni, Okrika, Urobo, and others. We bring you messages of hope, truth, and trust. Lower Niger Radio, your voice of liberation from slavery.
The 1999 Constitution is still in existence. The northern part of Nigeria will always dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must dance to the tune of the northern Nigerian elite or expectation. Let me repeat that again. I said, as long as the 1999 Constitution is still in existence in Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria will dictate who becomes the president of Nigeria. And it doesn't matter where that person comes from, that person must do according to what they want. That is a basic reality.
Essentially, the rest of Nigerians are slaves to the Fulani in Nigeria. The rest of Nigerians are effectively their slaves. It's up to us to wake up and realize what is happening and do the needful.
Lower Niger Radio is your station for all the amazing topics on history, culture, and self-determination. We discuss ways we can solve our collective problems created for us by seen and unseen, known and unknown elements. We take you from the starting point to your destination. We promote and uphold our cultural, social, and moral values. Tune in today and listen to amazing personalities and be entertained as well. Lower Niger Radio is your voice of liberation for the peoples of Anang, Bini, Eshan, Efik, Ibibio, Ibo, Ishekiri, Ijo, Igede, Kalabari, Ubolo, Ugoja, Ugoni, Okrika, Urobo, and others. We bring you messages of hope, truth, and trust. Lower Niger Radio, your voice of liberation from slavery.
With the work NINAS is doing, the odyssey of trust and suspension among the ethnic nationalities has been reduced to the barest minimum, as every indigenous ethnic nationality has been empowered to obtain her sovereignty and run as fast as possible to establish their people's self-determination. Things have changed and are changing. It's new dispensation. It's a new era. As we organize our people according to the UN standard of operation, once an information comes out, please let's think of how we can benefit from it as a people. Once your people are okay in their ancestral land, collectively we will be okay and empowered to drive out all aggressors. The indigenous peoples have the common core value of all men being born equal and have right to life. The aggressors do not. So please let this be the focus and let's fight this bloodless war together and fast too. Thanks. Check out.
Fellow Nigerian, in search of excellence for Africa, my mission remains to create awareness, advance practical solutions, and transform mindsets via case studies. Together, let's midwife deliverance for our race, country, and continent. Please share this video. I am Dr. Israel Noyerem Davidson. Thank you. In 2001, U.S.-led forces overthrew a Taliban-led Afghan government following the 9/11 attacks led by the Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. For the next 20 years, the U.S. and allies enforced democratic ideals, built up Afghan security forces, and provided operational air cover. The Taliban continued to attacks. Now, eventually, under President Trump, the U.S. promised to pull out if Taliban agreed to stop attacks and hosting terrorist groups. Today, the Taliban militants have declared Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan and overrun most of the country at lightning speed with little or no resistance from the 300,000 U.S. trained and heavily equipped Afghan forces. U.S. general could not believe an army could crumble at that rate.
I did not, nor did anyone else, see a collapse of an army that size in 11 days. There'll be many postmortems on this topic, but right now is not that time.
It is believed the Afghan soldiers, though diehards, had unquenchable allegiance to jihadist ideologies practiced by Taliban. There were Afghan soldiers by day, Taliban at heart, and Taliban at night. A situation some suggest currently exists in Nigeria too. So Afghanistan was simply handed over to the mullahs to govern based on their shared jihadist ideological leaning. The south and middle belt of Nigeria should wake up with urgency. The Afghan situation is cooking fast in Nigeria today. Afghanistan is #1 on global terrorist list. Nigeria is #3, second to Iran, with Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Fulani Herdsmen militia currently operating unhindered in the territory. You cannot fight religious ideology with guns or democratic ideals, particularly when the people themselves are not wired to accommodate change. See the cost of 20 years of U.S. efforts at enforcing peace, progress, and civilization in Afghanistan, and still they failed. 72 journalists and over 400 aid workers were killed. Between 66 to 69,000 Afghan troops killed. 2.7 million Afghans flee abroad, and 4 million displaced citizens. 3,000 U.S. troops killed, 21,000 wounded, and over 3,000 U.S. private security contractors also killed. Over 1,000 NATO coalition personnel killed. $2.3 trillion spent prosecuting Afghan war. As with Afghanistan, the Nigerian armed forces cannot contain the spread of Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Fulani bandits. They have sympathizers within and highly influential individuals in the corridors of power who share jihadist ideologies. There are reports of emerging new and more deadly armed group in Zamfara state today. As in Afghanistan, should the ethnic nationalities in the South and Middle Belt break away today, in less than 16 weeks, ISWAP and Fulani bandits may likely take over the whole of the Northeast and West and declare a caliphate or Islamic Republic with little or no resistance. Afghanistan today is a big lesson and an urgent call on Southern and Middle Belt political leaders to force a total restructure of Nigeria now or break it. Please set aside greed, selfishness, and worthless 2023 political ambitions and unite for the sake of your citizens. Despite unfolding calamities across Nigeria, Southern and Middle Belt Christians continue to take comfort in biblical texts alone, believing their lands are beyond conquer because God is alive. Of course, I believe He is. However, they forget that modern-day Turkey was once almost 100% Christian and hosted Apostle Paul, Apostle John, and a number of saints. Nigeria is not as holier or much loved by God as Turkey and Afghanistan. Turkey were thrown by the jihadists while the Christians had all eyes closed. Today, Turkey is more Islamic than Saudi Arabia. Nigeria, as currently configured, is sitting on a tinderbox. We have an army and those in power gifting thousands of militants, far worse than the Taliban, with amnesty, reintegration into society, logistics, and other incentives. Southern agitators demanding an end to the killings, raping, and displacement of citizens are hunted, killed, or detained without trial. In 2000, President Trump forced the release of 5,000 repentant and rehabilitated Talibans from prison and reintegrated them into the Afghan society. Many returned to the battlefield, worsened the security situation in Afghanistan, and strengthened Taliban to overrun the country. Will the Nigerian rehabilitated Boko Haram terrorists be any different? I doubt it. August Punch editorial warns the South is being tactically de-Nigerianized indirectly. Able citizens are being forced out in droves via mismanaged economy, insecurity, and frustration caused by mediocrity. The Nigerian system celebrates mediocrity, ingrained in the Nigerian constitution as quota system and federal character. It is an agent of slavery, fraud, injustice, underdevelopment, and impunity in the South and Middle Belt of Nigeria. Aggravated discontent and killer herdsmen and bandit activities are driving separatist agitations in the South. The Nigerian police and army respond with violence in communities. Today, it is easy for Southern young men in transit or even at home to be tagged terrorists or Yahoo boys and shot dead. Raising young men in the Southeast has become a scary enterprise, the Punch editorial concludes. Look, for these reasons, the best option now for the South and the Middle Belt must be to force a restructure of Nigeria or walk away from this union before too late. You cannot force a hyena to become a vegan. That's the truth. Afghan Christians and professionals are fleeing their country en masse, fearing for their lives. And professions, UK, US, and other European countries are offering help. Who would come to the rescue of Nigerians? Should the South and Middle Belt, fail to act decisively right now, you see, time is running out. Now, those clamoring for restructuring are not doing so out of hatred for Nigeria, but because northern Nigeria is dragging the rest of the country back to the Stone Age and into the abyss with it. You see, now is the time to demonstrate political skills, leadership, vision, tenacity, courage, and immunity against Takia. To save Nigeria and generations to come, let's initiate a genuine dialogue now. Restructure or break up. Look, perhaps, as Bishop Kuka cried out loudly recently, it's time to end Nigeria so that people who want development can go ahead. God bless our homelands. Thank you.
All that he was talking about will be taken care of through referendum. A binding multi-regional referendum. That's what will sort Nigeria out through a democratic process, through the ballot box. The people, the indigenous people, the indigenous nationalities of Oduduwa, Lower Niger Territory and the Middle Belt will vote on their continued stay in Nigeria. For international religious freedom, U.S. This is done annually. It is reviewed every year. The State Department placed on its special watch list SWL, Algeria, Comoros, Cuba, and Nicaragua. USCIRF recommended in its 2017 annual report that Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, Egypt, Indonesia, Iraq, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Turkey, and Uzbekistan also be placed on the special watch list. USCIRF recently released a fact sheet reiterating its country of particular concern and special watch list recommendations, which explains the religious freedom violations in these countries, supporting USCIRF.